Hello and welcome to Meldon Law and Friends, a service of Meldon Law, a Gainesville-based law firm which also has offices across the state, including South Florida, covering the entire Tri-County area from Miami-Dade through Broward up all the way up through Palm Beach County, and of course in Marion County, where the firm has been for 43 years. My name is Chris Qualman, one of the hosts of the show, and I'm very proud to be with my boss and good friend and founder of Meldon Law, Jeffrey Meldon. How are you doing, Jeffrey?
Well, great, Chris, and excitement is in the air.
Yes, it is.
We got a lot of great things happening in Gainesville, Ocala, and all of Florida. Some of it's centered around our Florida Gators and anticipation that we're going to actually be back into the swamp rooting on our Florida Gators. But in addition to that, there's big news that Spurrier's Gridiron Grill is opening, and I know you and I have had the privilege of being able to get in there and take a sneak peek.
I am so excited about that, and our first guest, who we'll be getting to in just a second, Jan Skok, president of the Titletown Gator Club. I know he's got a lot of interest in the new Spurrier's restaurant and a lot of other things, but you and I went there last week and got to taste their dinners, and I just have to say I'm blown away. It's incredible. And we were talking to our good friend Freddie Wiebe actually just before we went on the air, and there's a soft opening tomorrow. It actually opens tomorrow. However, they're already sold out. They're booked for tomorrow, so there are no tables available for tomorrow, the 4th of August. But Friday, I'm told Friday is the magic day where there will be some seats available. So check it out. It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's fun. It's a museum and a great restaurant at the same time. So Spurrier's Gridiron Grill at Celebration Point in Gainesville, huge restaurant, one of the largest in the state of Florida. It's exciting, it's fun, and most importantly, the food is exceptional.
It's amazing. Everything's farm to table, everything's fresh. I mean, you'd think we got an ownership interest. We don't. We're just saying it because we love it.
Well, we do have an interest. We are going to be moving our podcast there as soon as things get fully up.
And if you were here in a couple of weeks, you would have been at Spurrier's.
I was. I went on a tour with Buddy Martin.
No, yes. But he's right. We're going to be doing our podcast from Spurrier's restaurant starting in just a couple of weeks. So that's going to be exciting. But let's go ahead and formally introduce Jan Skok, the president of the Titletown Gator Club, all under the auspices of the Alumni Association of the University of Florida. And
Correct.
Jan, welcome to the program.
Thank you very
Quite
much.
a Gator you are.
Glad to be here. Well, thank you. We try to be.
Well, anyhow, tell us a little bit about the Titletown Gator Club and maybe a little bit about how the Gator Clubs are organized. I've been to the one up in New York and Asheville even, and maybe talk a little bit about how those are all set up.
Every club throughout Gator Nation is set up through the Alumni Association and located in Gainesville. Each town or country has their own Gator Clubs. There's international Gator Clubs, of course.
Right.
With the one in Titletown is set up at different areas for board meetings. We do our Gatorland Toyota, which is where we have most of our meetings. That's our champion sponsor right now that supports our scholarships. But the clubs are there to get some activity from the alumni. And by the way, if you're wanting to join the Alumni Association, you do not have to be a graduate of UF. You can join as a non-grad at a Gator in per se. That if you want to join, it's very easy to do.
Okay.
You can either go online and go to UFFAA join or rejoin. If you're not a member and we're a member, please rejoin. The more we do of membership, the better we are not only for our Gator Clubs for membership, because a lot of the money comes from the UF to do our scholarships and stuff, but also it helps with the public university build-up. We're now number 6 in the country. We want to get to number 5. We'll hopefully get to next year. And we could even get to number 1.
So, Jan, you have a very interesting story because you did not graduate from the University of Florida.
Correct.
But your younger brother did, right?
My younger brother, 89, Ken.
Okay.
Yes.
But you were in Pennsylvania, and somehow you got hooked up with the Gators. Tell us the story.
Well, living in Pennsylvania, Levittown, Pennsylvania, in 1967 is when I became a Gator. I was watching Gator football, which was not supposed to be broadcast, but there was a cancellation, and the crew was in Gainesville, so they were broadcasting. And it happened to be on a small TV, and it was a black and white. It was not color, so I didn't know, watching the Gators, that their colors were orange and blue. But I fell in love with the Gators. And then when I reached the point where I got news that you can join the Alumni Association, not going there, I joined in 2005. And then I went life at 2011, and then
This was one dedicated Gator. I'm
then
going to tell you what.
Then I realized, looking at my card, there was a Gator Club in Philadelphia, and so when I found that out, I started to go to the watch parties. I brought my family there,
Wow.
and then a couple viewing parties, I was asked to be on the board. And
Here you are.
I served on the board there 8 years. I started out as coordinator of membership and moved all the way up to being a president for 2 terms, 2013 and 14.
So what was it on that little black and white screen that got you engaged as a lifelong Gator?
Just the way they played, the way their spirit was on the sidelines.
Well, Coach Spurrier was playing then, right?
I think he graduated.
No, he
in
graduated in
66.
66.
Okay, so maybe it would have
after Spurrier.
Okay.
In fact, I didn't know about Steve Spurrier until 2 years later. Then I found out who he was. He was being the first Heisman
I think
winner.
Jack Ekdahl was the quarterback the year after Steve graduated because Reeves wasn't until
I couldn't tell you.
69, but
That's a long time ago. I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
All I know is I liked the way they played, and there was just something about them that got me. Now, I'm in the middle of Penn State territory, surrounded. So I got a little hackling, for my friends and
we're
neighbors.
proud to have somebody with your enthusiasm.
Thank
well,
you.
I'll share a secret with you. You know, whenever I'm traveling and the Gators are playing, whether it's home or away, I'm usually here if it's home, but sometimes I'll have to be away for special events. I always track down wherever the Gator Club is, and there's always a great restaurant bar where the Gators get together. And for those of you listening, if you really want to, enjoy the Gator experience, whether you're in Gainesville or not, just check it out. Just say, where's the nearest, Gator bar?
Right.
You can Google, where's the University of Florida Athletic Association or Gator Titletown Gator Club get together, and you will have a blast. You'll meet all kinds of neat people.
It's really incredible. I mean, New York, Asheville, that's exactly what I did. My folks used to live in Asheville. I called and got the address, and it was incredible.
Okay, we got a question.
And we didn't tell you this. We have questions on Facebook Live. I'll read it to you. Jan, is that a Meldon Law Gator visor you are wearing?
Yes, it is.
And if so, where can I get one?
From Jeff Meldon.
So I'll help Jan out on this one.
Yeah.
If you just go to meldonlaw.com, we have lots of free gifts. You can email us, and I promise you, we will get you.
Why don't we do a little special?
We will get you a official Meldon Law Gator visor. And as I understand it, there's a rumor that this visor was actually approved by Steve Spurrier to be an official visor.
So if you're watching the podcast, call our office. Just go ahead and give us a call, 352-373-8000. Say, I heard Jeffrey talk about the visors. You got a call during the podcast, we'll give you a free visor. Hey, we have a second question, though, and I think you can answer this one. How do I go about joining the Gator Club?
The way you get to join a Gator Club is joining the Alumni Association, which you can do online or at any of the events we have, whether it be a tour or a watch party game for watching football or basketball or baseball, or even we just had a first magnitude Gator gathering. There's applications there. We all supplied the stamp. All you have to do is fill the information in, send it in the mail, and you're automatically a member of the Alumni Association. And incorporating, they'll tell you where your local Gator Club is. Like if you're in Gainesville, it's the Titletown Gator Club. There are tons up and down Florida for Gator Clubs. So whatever your county is or area, the Alumni Association will map that out and put on your card that Gator Club. It's now your chore to find out where that Gator Club is. And the way you can find out a lot of that information is on Facebook by putting in Titletown Gator Club. And a lot of that information is in there. And once you become a member, you'll also get the emails we send out for any of our events.
That's really exciting. And I know you've got a big fall kickoff coming up.
Yes.
And you're having Athletic Director Scott Strickland.
Correct.
As a guest, along with Jeff Cardozo.
Right.
And so you're putting on first-class events.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's a stacked lineup.
This is a kickoff for the season, and then we're also giving our scholarship winners that we have. We have 4 regular UF freshmen that are get a scholarship. They applied with an application, and we're going through that and picking our 4 winners. And this year, for the first time, we're doing a special scholarship, and it's named after a former alumni, 2002, and his name is Michael Stills. Mm-hmm. In fact, Jeff Cardozo knows the family and knows Michael personally, so we're going to present the very first Michael Still Memorial Scholarship Fund Award winner.
So you say regular freshmen, you mean non-athletes?
Well, yeah, the athletes have their own scholarship.
Right.
That
Is it too late for Chris to apply?
No, I don't.
Yeah, I need to go back and brush up my skills. He keeps saying to me, you need to take this course.
But Chris is a double Gator,
yes.
Both undergrad and law school.
Well,
so
you can go for your PhD.
I could. I messed around in the MBA program for a little, and it was a little too hard, so I went to law school. Yeah. Anyway, we've got to cut to a break. I just got a little tip of the hat from our producer, so we've got to cut to a break. We'll be right back in just a moment. But one thing I'd certainly like to talk about are some of the upcoming events. I know that from having gone to other Gator clubs around the state, the speakers, are just amazing. Over the years, I heard, of course, the head ball coach. I heard Urban Meyer, Billy Donovan, and so many others. So that's something I know that people love to look forward to seeing.
Yes.
Again, you are watching Meldon Law and Friends. We are streaming live on Facebook. So if you are watching us on Facebook and you have a question for either Jan Skok or for Jeffrey Meldon, or you want to make a comment about anything, within reason, type your message on the message section on the Facebook Live, and we'll read it live on the air. Again, this is Meldon Law and Friends, episode number 41, and we will be right back after this.
Oh my gosh, I can't even believe this. Look what you have done to my truck.
Excuse me, it's your fault, it's not my fault.
Yes, it is your fault.
No,
I am calling Jeffrey Meldon from Meldon Law.
So I'm gonna call Jeffrey, my husband.
Meldon Law, this is Jeffrey speaking.
Jeffrey!
This crazy lady here, this crazy lady, he might...
New client?
Yes, but this one might be a little tricky. The Gator Nation will be the first to tell you that in all kinds of weather, we all stick together, which is why Meldon Law is honored to be the only official law firm partner of the Florida Gators. We hope you never find yourself the victim of a serious accident, but if you do, our team is here for you. Gators won't back down from a fight, and neither do we.
Hello and welcome back to today's edition of Meldon Law and Friends. Today is Tuesday, August 3rd, 2021. My name is Chris Qualman. one of the co-hosts of the show with my good friend, mentor, and boss, Jeffrey Meldon, the founder of Meldon Law. 50 years practicing in Gainesville since 1971. So I know, Jeffrey, when you got that acknowledgement recently from the Florida Bar, along with a lot of your contemporaries, not many of you, make it to that 50-year mark. That was quite an event.
Well, I was very proud to be at the awards banquet, and it was really fun. I saw a bunch of lawyers I hadn't seen in 30, 40 years, and we got to share some war stories about old cases we had worked on together, so it was fun. And there are quite a few of us 50-year members that are still out there, doing some remarkable work.
Absolutely. So, well, I want to remind everybody that Meldon Law is a firm whose practice areas include personal injury cases, meaning that we represent families and victims whose lives have been turned upside down due to the negligence or carelessness of someone else. Frequently, we handle motor vehicle crashes, big truck crashes involving 18-wheelers out on the interstate and on the roads of Florida. We also handle pedestrian versus auto cases. We've represented people on skateboards, electric scooters even, and motorcycles and the like. So anytime, hopefully you never will have the need to call us for something like this, but maybe you might know somebody who does. Give us a call anytime, 24/7 at 1-800-373-8000, or take a look at our website at www.meldonlaw.com. Learn a lot more about our practice areas statewide. We handle cases all across the state of Florida. And again, I want to reintroduce our guest for this our second segment today, Jan Skok, the president of the Titletown Gator Club. And again, thank you so much for being here.
Pleasure.
You've got to be proud of things like not just football and basketball, but look at the Olympics. I mean, what is it, Jeffrey, that we have 13 medals, I saw, is that right?
The Gators have more medals in the Olympics than everybody but 8 or 9 countries.
That's right. That's right. Definitely more than any other university.
Yeah.
So it's really amazing how these other sports we have such incredible talent.
I mean, Caleb Dressel got 5, medals, but there were a lot of other Gators that were involved. So when I saw that statistic, I went, "Wow! Gators really dominate not only in the SEC." But on the world stage as well. So
it really is incredible, and it's not over yet.
It's
might still
yet.
get a few more.
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So anyhow, Jan, I wanted to ask you what your perspective is on the upcoming Gator football season, and we got a lot of big games. We got Alabama on September 18th, but what are your thoughts as far as the program and where we're headed?
I think the program's headed in the right direction. I think after last year, we were close in getting to that next tier up. We have a new quarterback, Emery, and I think he's buffed up a lot. I think he's going to be able to. That was a big question because of his size. But I think he's got an accurate arm.
He does.
Deadly as Kyle's was last year. You have a tight end or a wide receiver. I'm not sure which one it is. Whitmer, I think his name. He's
a local guy from
Ocala. He was our first Ocala Club Scott Brantley award winner.
Okay.
He played last year, and he's got the backing of a lot of the wide receivers and tight end crew on his side. He's really fantastic. I think he make a great. He reminds me of Pitts.
Sure.
His specialty of what he did. I mean, he can just open up and make plays like it's unbelievable.
Well,
and I think this front line's far better. I think the defensive line's strengthened. This transfer portal's coming in.
Sure.
Has brought in a lot of good players from other colleges and stuff. I think we have a chance. I'm not here to predict because Alabama is going to be a real tough game. But I think if we as Gator Nation load that stadium, we are that 12th person on that field. We can encourage our players. Let not them be the encouragers. Let us be the encouragers to that game. I think we can beat Bama. In fact,
You got me psyched up, I'll tell you what.
I want to beat Bama so bad, especially since it's home.
Well, that gives us a little bit of an edge.
Yeah, a little bit.
The odds makers have Bama at an 18-point early favorite.
Yeah, that's all right. They can put.
They got a new quarterback.
I don't go with the betting stuff because half the time they're not right anyhow.
So what are your thoughts about Texas and Oklahoma joining the SEC in a few years?
That may be interesting. I don't know how that'll fit. That means a long travel to go to SEC games, but hey, if they want to, bring it on.
Well, we've got Texas A&M and Missouri.
Right.
Those are long travels,
Yeah,
right?
they were true.
Yeah,
True.
I don't know
didn't think
that
about
they're not really
Yeah.
any further than Texas or Oklahoma. You know, once you're up in the air,
Yep.
what's another 100 or 200 miles?
I look at it this way: when you're the best in the nation in your division, everybody wants to join.
Sure.
So I think that's why they're thinking that way.
It's going to be interesting because they're talking about doing away with, you know, the top 5 leagues and now creating super leagues for television. And it may wind up being that there's, you know, the Big Ten and the ACC and the SEC and
Pac-10.
probably the Pac-10 picks up a couple
Yeah. Big 12
players.
when they lose their two, it'll be the Big 10, not Big 12.
Correct.
So, I mean, there may be others coming over too. Who knows?
But there is going to be a shakeup because it's all about the money, right?
Money.
Okay.
Money has a lot to do with
The
it.
money has a lot to do with it. Do you know that Texas and Oklahoma accounted for 76% of the revenue in the Big 12?
I do believe
Yeah,
that.
I think so. That's
So-
why they're upset, because they're leaving.
Correct.
That's why they're upset.
And from the SEC standpoint, when you have two teams like that are going to bring in huge amounts of revenue, equivalent to the revenues that, you know, the Alabamas, Georgias, Florida, and the other SEC teams bring in, it's going to be huge. Probably the most disappointed team in the SEC is Texas A&M because they had a recruiting advantage for you know, the last
Jimbo
9
Fisher's not
years,
too
right?
happy.
And
Yeah.
now all of a sudden they got to compete again against Texas on a level playing field.
What about basketball? Tell us your thoughts on the basketball team for next year. You know, it was a strange year. You know, we lost our best player, you know, in that very freak incident toward the beginning of the year.
Yeah, and
then we
there's
lost
a chance
Trey
of him coming
Mann.
back. There is a chance that
Yeah.
he wants to come back.
That's what I wanted to ask.
Yeah,
Okay.
he wants to
Okay.
come back, but I think it'll be up to the doctors giving him that approval because of the condition he had and also the family. But I know in his heart he wants to come back, and I would love to see him. He is phenomenal on that court. Phenomenal.
What was the final? I don't recall even what they said happened to Keontae. What was the final diagnosis?
They really haven't pronounced what the
Right.
illness was. I think it had a little to do with either his heart or lungs.
I see.
But whatever it was, they were not taking any chances of getting him back early. And so I think he's at that point. He's conditioning himself. He's getting ready. But I don't know whether he'll get that blessing from the.
Well, there's no better place than UF Health to
That's
check
true.
out our athletes
yeah.
and take
Yeah.
care of them.
Yeah.
So we're really excited. And, you know, I'm certainly excited about that. Jan, what's your thoughts about the name, image, likeness craziness that's going on now?
Such as what?
Oh, you know,
just the fact that these young athletes now have this whole new world of opportunity to make money and exploit their likeness.
Well, I'm not in that world,
Yeah.
so I don't know what they were looking. I don't know what they get for scholarship and stuff. But if it's something that they absolutely need to do, as long as it's done properly and controlled, I don't have a problem with it. But I wasn't really for it in the beginning. Of course, I got some more information on what they get as a scholarship and what they really need, and so I'm for it as long as it's controlled. That's the only point I think.
I'm excited for some of these players who would not otherwise, particularly in these other sports like volleyball, soccer. Even baseball doesn't have the full level of scholarships that football do. You got a lot of these guys who get partial or not scholarships at all. So if people, some of these young women, who play women's soccer and volleyball, they now have an opportunity because they work extraordinarily hard.
Yeah.
Swimming,
I think a lot, other than the football and the basketball, baseball is down there.
Yeah.
They need it. You got ladies soccer,
Right.
lacrosse.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I had two young ladies who graduated, and one's going now to Pittsburgh. The other one's going to Auburn to get their next degree.
Mm-hmm.
And I followed them for 4 years. Once 1 year in Philadelphia, and another time when I came up to Titletown. They could have used this money.
Sure.
And as long as it's maintained and controlled, I think it's going to really do a great job for all these teams.
Yeah, Jan, I don't think it's going to be controlled. I think once the alumni, find out that they can donate, buckets full of cash and get some of the better players out there. You got 17 and 18-year-old kids that are being recruited, and it's going to probably get into a bidding war. And
Could.
I thought about that.
It could.
And Alabama's going to put $100,000 on the table for your signing bonus, and then Miami's going to top it with $125.
Well, I think there's some rules right now at how it's working.
Yeah.
We'll have to see how that works, and then see if they expand or whatever. It's a trial.
I was watching the Shane Matthews podcast this morning, and Buddy Martin was on, and Shane actually asked Buddy that question. He said, well, if there's going to be this, Gator Day, what they normally do where families come out and get autographs, are they going to do autographs without charging for it? I mean, with the whole name, image, and likeness, it's a whole new set of rules. We'll have to see.
My son, Kerry Meldon, our partner in the law firm, has gained expertise in this area and is going to be, keeping us on track. And on Meldon Law Friends, we'll have Kerry on to give us the update of what's going on with name, image, and likeness.
Baseball team. I want to ask you about the baseball team. They had a disappointing end of the season after so much promise. They're consensus #1 across the board. Although we love the stadium, I mean the new stadium was just is an amazing place.
Yes.
A little bit of turmoil toward the end of the season. I'm understanding though that some of the players are not coming back, and yet we may have some new ones coming. So, what are your thoughts on baseball?
I think the coach will have them ready to go. I think last year with that COVID really hurt them.
It did. Yeah.
I mean, you had almost everybody come back, and of course every athlete in every sport was allowed to come back.
Right.
Instead of graduating, or they could graduate, but they could come back and play that season. But I think COVID had a lot to do with them coming back and not being really prepared.
Sure.
I mean, they were on fire. The pitching, the hitting, everything. And this year, I think our pitching was hurting. Not sure why. But
I do love the stadium, though. I don't think there's.
I think that was a highlight. The new stadium.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you guys saw it, but Judd Fabian is coming back.
Yes, I saw
did
that
not
morning.
see that.
Yeah, he's
No kidding.
He's playing with his brother out of Ocala.
Wow, that's huge. Good for him.
And he was picked, I think, second round in Major League Baseball.
Well, I think he's got something to prove. He's going to come back with a vengeance.
So anyhow, we're excited to see that.
We got a quick question because we've only got a minute and a half left. Does the club go on road trips to road games?
Not necessarily. We would coordinate with some of the Touchdown Gator Touchdown Club in Gainesville. In fact, there is one, I believe, to LSU. That I posted on Facebook, our site, Titletown. A gentleman was looking to get a bunch of RVs to go on travel. And there is, I think the Touchdown Gator Club was having a trip with buses, and they...
Yeah, that's a huge game for our listeners. It's in the middle of October, and what makes it special is this is the only year that the Gators are on the road playing LSU, and the New Orleans Jazz Fest is there the same weekend.
Yes.
So I've already got my
say,
hotel booked.
You're going to be at both probably.
That's going to be I'm going for 6 days.
Yeah.
Okay, it's going to be a big party. Anyhow, I think we're just about
done.
at the end here,
Real
Chris.
quick, website where people go to Facebook to learn about you.
Facebook, Titletown Gator Club. Just
Okay.
like it, and you'll see everything we post. And also, we're on Twitter, Instagram, and we also
All right.
LinkedIn.
Jan Skok, President of Titletown Gator Club, thank you so much for stopping by. We'll have you back maybe during the middle of the season.
Very good.
Talk about how the Gators are doing. You're watching Meldon Law Friends. Don't leave. We've got a great guest. You've seen him here before. We just had him. We've got him again. The amazing, incredible Reverend Karl Anderson going to talk with Jeffrey about the event the two of them worked on this past weekend, and we'll be right back.
When you're a member of the Gator Nation, you know what it means to never back down. Meldon Law has been a proud supporter of the Gator Nation since 1971. Two forces that won't back down. As the old saying goes, if you can't beat them, join them.
I was in a truck accident. Because of the accident, I've resulted in 3 back surgeries. We saw advertisements on TV, and guess who popped up more often than not? It was Jeffrey. The communication that he provided was so appreciative. He shows his compassion as a human. He assisted us in achieving one of our dreams, the acquisition of a home, and we're here today with smiles on our face with the assistance from Jeffrey.
And I was in an accident. Someone ran a red light and hit me, and I was hurt. You don't know where to turn. Luckily, I called Jeffrey. These big insurance companies, they don't want you to win. They truly don't. But Jeffrey and his firm and the people that work here, they just really fight for you. You call the law offices of Jeffrey Meldon, because you're gonna need help, and they will help you.
Oh my gosh, I can't even believe this. Look what you have done to my truck.
Excuse me, it's your fault, it's not my fault.
Yes, it is your
No,
fault.
it's not. No,
I
it's
am
not.
calling Jeffrey Meldon from Meldon Law.
So I'm gonna call Jeffrey, my husband.
Meldon Law, this is Jeffrey speaking.
This crazy lady here, this crazy lady, he might...
New client?
Yes, but this one might be a little tricky. The Meldon Law Firm from the beginning has been built on giving back to the community. I enjoy coming to work as much today as I did in 1971 when I opened my practice. I don't look at this as a job, I look at it as serving other people. While we're alive, what better feeling can you achieve than knowing that you've helped other people and thereby you enrich your own life?
Being a client at Meldon Law was special because I felt like I was really being listened to, and I felt welcome by the entire staff. If I were in a situation where I needed legal advice and help, I would absolutely reach out to Jeffrey because his reputation alone speaks for itself. But on a personal level, I know that he would take care of me and help me solve those problems, and I would feel safe with him.
The Gator Nation will be the first to tell you that in all kinds of weather, we all stick together, which is why Meldon Law is honored to be the only official law firm partner of the Florida Gators. We hope you never find yourself the victim of a serious accident, but if you do, our team is here for you. Gators won't back down from a fight, and neither do we.
Hello and welcome back to today's edition of Meldon Law and Friends. Today is Tuesday, August 3rd, 2021. This is our 41st episode of this podcast. Jeffrey, we started this back in November. We haven't missed a week yet, and it's really incredible how this has grown.
We're very excited. I get a lot of comments when I'm out in the community from people that have watched it, and our goal is to bring awareness to what's going on in North Central Florida for all of our listeners, our viewers, and if you're interested, just send a note. Go to meldonlaw.com. Send us a note indicating you'd like some publicity for your organization, and we'll try to get you on sometime soon. There's a lot going on, and we're very, very proud that Meldon Law is the community sponsor for not only the Florida Gators, but a lot of other great organizations as well. In particular, my good friend, the Reverend Karl Anderson, or the Rev, as we know him.
He's the Rev.
He's the Rev.
Look at that hat. This guy's the Rev, man.
I want to introduce Reverend Karl Anderson. We had a huge event last Saturday, the People Against Violence rally. Thousands of people showed up. It was really exciting. Let's kick it off with a little discussion about last Saturday, because I was there, Carrie was there. We got to give short speeches.
Yeah,
you were running the show. Boy, you pulled it off.
Well, it wouldn't happen, without you, our title sponsor, and others who are on board. And that's exactly what this community needs, us to come together, shoulder to shoulder, hand in hand, to really wrap our arms around these kids. It was phenomenal Saturday. We had over 5,000 people come through there, and first 3,000 we gave away backpacks, and some people, Jeffrey, that I was surprised just wanted to come and hear the message, and which is a good thing. That's why we do what we do. We want to help the kids have a great start to the new school year, but it's about the message, man. We've been having so much gun violence among our youth in our community, and so it was so good to see so many kids out and parents.
I was excited. I had a chance to talk with my good friend Sheriff Clovis Watson and our GPD Captain Tony Jones, and they are fully on board as far as working with you and the community to come up with innovative ways to let the folks that are toting these guns around know that they got to go somewhere other than Gainesville. Gainesville will not put up with it.
That's right. We're fed up, and we're all are going to do all we can. One of the fascinating things about you is that after the rally, you're like, okay, what's next? We got to continue this, and you're so right. I mean, 2 o'clock the next morning, we had a shooting downtown, and that just lets us know that we got to keep it moving. We got to keep it going. We got to keep things happening. We got to keep preaching the message of violence prevention with our youth and parents. And so, we got some things planned. And I'd like to thank you for being that constant, that stable force in our community that really want to see us better, see our youth safer, see our parents have more support. I appreciate you.
Well, I'll tell you, Rev, I'm really excited about this upcoming year. The message that you've put out there is great. It's got to be done 24/7.
That's right.
All the time. There's no letting up. We have tremendous support within the community, and I'm very optimistic that working in partnership with P.A.V.E, Meldon Law, the police department, the sheriff's office, all the churches in the community, all of the leaders can work together to put public pressure on the folks that aren't doing it the right way.
That's right. That's right. We're applying pressure. That's exactly what I was.
Oh yeah, that was part of the deal. That was yeah.
We are applying pressure, and by coming together and wrapping our arms around our kids, and I'm just grateful about the continuity. We certainly going to take advantage and leverage some of our media partners with trying to do PSAs, asking parents, do you know where your kids are? Reminding them to lock their doors so that the young juveniles won't have access to guns and weapons. And so, it is exciting. And you mentioned innovation. That's what it's going to take, creativity. And I can't do it on my own. I need people like Attorney Meldon and others to really jump on board and really make it happen.
Reverend, we had you on a few weeks ago when Jeffrey was out of town. It was Carrie and myself.
Yeah.
And what really touched my heart about that particular visit, this obviously was a very different year for a lot of reasons. You had COVID last year, so even though you had the event, it was done strictly drive up in your car. You didn't have quite the face-to-face interaction, but we talked about the fact that it was a somber situation too. You had this horrible tragedy just several weeks ago here in Gainesville. So you're dealing with something that's very present, very imminent, and very real. And I'd like you to talk a little bit about what you talked about a few weeks ago, about some of the services that are ongoing, not just the P.A.V.E. event, which was wonderful last weekend, but the counseling you do, the services you do for single mothers, and so many other things through your ministry as well as P.A.V.E.
Well, that's what it's going to take. We're going to continue to be that advocate for parents, providing counseling, grief counseling, just a parental support for the kids. Also providing mental health services for them as well. Not that anything is wrong with it, but just to know that they have someone to talk to.
Sure.
We have that in Meridian. We have that in Meridian and other entities out there. That's there for our children and parents. You've said it. They went through a lot. Pandemic, having to work from home, being quarantined, having lost loved ones due to COVID. So it's a lot of pressure. And so, it's imperative that we continue to be there, offer services for children. Our church is doing monthly rallies, making sure that they have resources every Tuesday. Like today, we had our Take What You Need Tuesdays. Had about 250 people out there lining up to get food and groceries. And so we just have to be there, and to let them know that we care.
What were you hearing from the community this past weekend? That's what I'd like to know, is that I'm sure there's a sense of, we've got to band together to stop this violence. Maybe share some of the thoughts you had from people.
Well, like what was in the Gainesville Sun, there's this one parent came there. He lost his wife. He's taking care of 5 kids on his own. No way he could have afforded to buy backpacks for each of those kids and supplies. And so this just took a lot of that off of his plate. Wow. He could focus on other things and still pay the bills. He was grateful. There were other people who were interviewed who were grateful about the message, about us out there offering not only a message of prevention but intervention. We had gun locks out there.
Really?
Yeah,
I
was impressed. Those were real gun locks. And the message was that as an adult, you have a responsibility to secure your weapons.
That's right.
And that, a lot of these weapons that are involved in these shootings that we hear about are not from responsible gun owners. They're guns that were stolen. We talked about cars being locked.
That's right.
People leave their car unlocked. People break in. They wind up stealing guns, and then there's no way to track the gun. You don't know who was involved.
That's right. That's true. And I'm just glad that we're constantly getting this message across. We're going to be partnering again with media partners to help remind parents to do those things, lock their doors, lock their glove compartments, lock their guns, not only through radio and TV, but even social media. you know.
We have a question from Facebook, and it's sort of a combination, comment and question. The person says, this is such an important event for the community. Thank you for supporting this. Great weekly contribution for this fine community. Go Gators. The question is, do you have a date for next year's P.A.V.E. event?
Yes, the last Saturday in July. The last Saturday in July. That's the best way I could put it.
Because we got to get everybody, because school starts like 2 weeks into August, so
That's
we got to
right.
get the kids ready.
We got to get them ready.
Now, in addition to doing the P.A.V.E. event, I know you do also have a strong following as far as your church and your parishioners, and you were talking about media. I know that you have a gospel program on. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, you know, right currently, you know, I have a marketing firm, but I do work with Gillen Broadcasting, with 98.9 Jams, with Steve Harvey, and KISS 105.3, which you're on every week. We're happy to see you there.
Yes.
And you know, I work with those companies not only as a sales manager, but also they're actually looking at bringing Church with the Rev back. I was on for 10 years in this market. I was Gospel Announcer of the Year, and for the Florida Gospel Announcers Guild, and many people have been asking for years, when are you coming back on air? So they actually are planning on bringing me back, and I feel that bug biting again. But you know, it's a music intense show. I'm interviewing artists. I'm playing the latest in gospel music, both traditional and contemporary, and so it's going to be a lot of fun. You know, Again, I feel that bug biting, so I'm ready for that. I'm ready.
Well, we're excited. Yeah. We'll have to check that out. I'm sure we will.
Who are some of the hot gospel groups that are around our community?
Right now you got around our community or national?
Well, both.
Okay, well, at national you have you know, Kiera Sheard. You still got Kurt Franklin dominating. You got you know Corinne Hawthorne, and then traditionally, you know, you still got those staple artists like Shirley Caesar. That's whenever she puts something out, it's like, okay, you know, it's
Andre
awesome.
Crouch is always a favorite of mine.
Oh man, he was one of my favorites too.
So
he was actually a part of our denomination.
He was. I know, Buddy.
Yeah.
Our friend Buddy Hooten knew him really well.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. We've got to cut to a break on that thought. I'm sure we got lots more to talk about in the fourth and final segment. You are, of course, watching Meldon Law and Friends, a weekly podcast brought to you by Meldon Law, a statewide law firm with its primary office in Gainesville, also with offices covering the entire South Florida area and also Marion County. Primary practice areas are personal injury and criminal defense. Give us a call anytime, toll free at 1-800-373-8000. We'll be right back after this.
The Gator Nation will be the first to tell you that in all kinds of weather, we all stick together, which is why Meldon Law is honored to be the only official law firm partner of the Florida Gators. We hope you never find yourself the victim of a serious accident, but if you do, our team is here for you. Gators won't back down from a fight, and neither do we.
Oh my gosh, I can't even believe this. Look what you have done to my truck.
Excuse me, it's your fault, it's not my fault.
Yes, it is your
No,
fault.
it's not, no,
I
it's
am
not.
calling Jeffrey Meldon from Meldon Law.
So I'm gonna call Jeffrey, my husband.
Meldon Law, this is Jeffrey speaking.
This crazy lady here, this crazy lady here might...
New client?
Yes, but this one might be a little tricky.
Welcome back to episode 41 of Meldon Law and Friends. Today is Tuesday, August 3rd, 2021. If you're watching this live on Facebook Live, thank you. Let your friends know that it will remain archived on the Meldon Law Facebook page, and it is also archived on the Meldon Law YouTube page. Very simple to find it. Just look up Meldon Law YouTube page. We have all of our prior episodes, including ones with the head ball coach, Steve Spurrier. We've had many other coaches. We've had many other community leaders and people. We've number 3, actually. This is your 3rd time on the show.
Yeah, he's the only one.
That's right. So
I'm humbled.
You Carl Anderson.
Yeah, we're going to make you one of our partners here on the show. Okay,
great.
You come by and update us on what's going on.
Even if you're not booked, come on in. We'll say, hey, look, it's the Rev. Anyhow, let's talk about, I know you wanted to cover some things going forward and some things that can be done to stay involved.
Tell us about the initiatives that people can get involved with today and moving forward.
Exactly. I'm glad you asked, because one of our focuses are to stop the bleeding, stop the immediate bleeding, and you know what's going on here. We mentioned it on the last segment about you know, continuing the message of gun safety, reminding the parents about, you know, gun safety, and, you know, locking your doors, locking up your guns, that type of thing. But we also need to provide healing for this community. You know, the loss of young people, and when you think of it, we're actually losing, you know, the victim and the suspect. Yeah, I mean, those are 2 kids, you know, gone just like that. So we got to provide healing for both families, and so it's going to take a lot of coming together, mediation, healing. So here's some of the things we want to do. We want to provide parental symposiums, educating parents on not only gun safety but violence and music. How music can play can be a negative influence on violence. Video games, how some violent video games desensitizes the kids, and you know it wouldn't be anything for them to just act violent and use guns, and so it goes hand in hand. And then how to communicate with your children, how to tell if your child is involved in a gang, you know, and things you can do to enhance the relationship. Other resources that are out there that you can pair up with and call. So we want to have some of these. We also want to go to the schools this year.
Sure.
We also want to go to the schools and light it up a little bit, bringing in people like let's bring in an old ball coach. You know, talk to the kids. You know, say, hey, you know what? Let's rally for peace. You know,
sure.
End of the day, and bring in Attorney Meldon, let them know that, hey, you can do this. It's not too late to turn your life around. That kind of thing. So we want to go into the school system, some of the high schools, middle schools, and really just engage them. And so we have some fun things happening.
We have a question on Facebook Live. The question is, can citizens donate to the P.A.V.E. event? What type of donations are you looking for? Like, for example, in addition to money is always great, but are there in-kind donations that you're looking for?
Yes. In-kind donations are always good. Money is good. If you want to give monetarily, you can go to our website, pavingpeace.org, and find directions there. You can certainly, give, and again, there'll be directions there. But also for its in-kind, we need volunteers. Donated items are always good, for its back-to-school supplies, etc. Helmets for kids that are on scooters and bicycles, those type of things, and gun locks and things of that nature. So we'll certainly put a list of things on our website where you can go to and really be a peace partner with us. But we appreciate the interest.
An idea just came to my mind.
He's an idea
talking
man.
About helmets for bicycle riders and kids and stuff. Let's create some P.A.V.E. helmets.
Wow,
okay.
I think that's phenomenal.
I think
that's phenomenal. And P.A.V.E. can't do it by himself. I got to put Meldon on there as well. You don't mind, do you?
We might consider it.
Right? That's pretty much a given. Okay.
No, I have a good friend of mine in Savannah, Georgia, Howard Spiva, who's been doing helmets for kids for 20 years.
Wow.
And he said he's gotten more satisfaction out of that program than anything he's done.
That's good.
And so he'll conspire with us to come up with a way to get a bunch of really nice helmets together.
Especially with these new scooters around town now. How do you think that'll...
I don't know. Those new scooters are...
the jury's still out on
the
scooters.
Boy.
Another story for another day. But,
we'll stick to the bicycles.
Anyhow, I'd like you to talk a little bit more about your church. We talked about it a few weeks ago. So how, again, it's so inspirational what you do at the Upper Room. So where can people find out about the upper Room, and where do you have your weekly service?
I'm going to share that, but do you mind if I just say thank you to my partners of Upper Room? They're the hardest working parishioners I feel in the world. I mean, they were out there giving of themselves in the hot, scorching sun on Saturday, back to church on Sunday, making sure that we had a wonderful and glorious time. Today they're serving for 2 hours. Really there before them, because you got to prepare and put the food out and all that. And so they were there today in the rain, giving away food. I have the greatest parishioners there, and we're just so purpose driven. And I just want to say thank you for those who are watching this. And if you want to be a partner of Upper Room, a group of people who don't mind serving in the community, meeting needs of the people, felt needs, join us. We're there on Sundays at 10 a.m. for service. It's masked up. COVID protocol is in effect. But if you want to be a part of midweek Bible study, we're doing it by teleconference, still keeping it safe. And again, go to our website, the letter U, letter R, welcomehere.org. Letter U, letter R, welcomehere.org. We have so many programs you can be involved in. We have a Widow's Wing ministry where we provide companionship and guardian angels for widows and widowers. We'll call and check up on them and just see if they need anything. Tell them we love them, and we'll have love nests for them every other month. Just shower them with gifts. We also have a Foster's Fruits ministry where we provide monthly rallies for foster children.
Really?
Yes, and we give, like 1 month could be diapers, next month could be individually wrapped items, and here's a great thing, we do one for aging out kids as well, suitcases and toiletries and those type of things. And so our church really just, I can't describe it other than saying we're purpose driven. We just really want to meet the real needs of the people. And every Tuesday, rain or shine, we're giving away food from 9 to 11. Take what you need Tuesdays. Groceries, meats, protein, fruit, vegetables, etc. Take what we don't judge. Just take what you need.
Where do they go?
To our church, and our church is located 3575 Northeast 15th Street, across from Rollins Elementary.
Okay.
That's where our physical church is located at. Again, visit our website, letter U, letter R, welcomehere.org. I serve as senior pastor along with Pearlie Shelton, who's a workhorse like I am. I love our parishioners. I'm just grateful.
I don't know how you do it all, right?
I don't either. I cannot even imagine.
I couldn't do it without great parishioners who see the vision and feel my heart, and great partners like you, willing to go out there on the battlefield.
You know what he really wants? He wants to be on your radio show about the gospel.
Oh man, well hey,
this guy knows music. He's got a jazz background.
Oh wow, we would love to have him on.
Yeah.
I gotta make that happen.
Okay.
Hey, you Eric Jewell. They say, Eric, I need to get on Rev's show.
Yeah, we know Eric.
Eric is.
We know Eric very well.
He's a partner of ours in many ways.
Yes.
And, KISS
is
a great station. I know you have worked with them in the past.
Oh yeah. He was the one who gave me my first break on mainstream urban radio. That's I first did my show, Churching with the Rev. We have Church Before Church. He hired me in 2000. Before then, I did CCM radio, Joy FM.
Really?
And I started my career there. I was on there for 5 years, and with Magic for 10 over there with Eric. And now I'm back with him. He's moved back. He said, Rev, I need you. I came running.
There you go. Well, we've only got about a minute or so left. So any really quick final thoughts? Anything else that you've got coming up in the next couple of weeks?
I just want people to stay tuned to the P.A.V.E website, because you'll be hearing Meldon Law and P.A.V.E doing some great things in the community here soon. I mean, because we have to act now, because things are still happening. Again, we're at the rally Saturday, shooting 2 o'clock in the morning.
Man,
we got to keep it going. We got to keep it going. And so pavingpeace.org. That's PAVING PEACE.org. Stay tuned to upcoming events. You'll find us in a church near you, civic hall near you, library near you, school near you. We're trying to make a difference, paving a peace for a more peaceful community for our youth.
I think that's all the time we got, Jeffrey. And
Amen. We're on board.
Yes,
You know, the Rev was the gospel announcer of the year back in 2003. I don't know.
Yeah,
I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it.
And Chris was the wrestling announcer of the week.
Oh,
it's my evil twin. It's my evil twin. Yes, you had to throw that in there.
You
yes.
did NWA?
I am.
Gordon Soley?
Gordon Soley was at my wedding.
Come on, get out of here.
He was a good friend of mine. Bless his heart. And that's another story for another day. Gordon and I were close friends. That really is true. All right, that's all the time we have. We'll catch you next week on Meldon Law Friends. Take care.